So I was puzzling how to start this conversation with such a interestingly diverse range of work, which of course is one of the strengths of our department. But it's interesting to try to make the links between things. So maybe we can talk a little bit just about the feelings induced by the different pieces. So in Janet's, there's the kind of exuberance, kind of the wonder of a child from a child's point of view, and where things are really turned literally inside out in terms of textures, and where the heroine becomes the moon. To Crispin's kind of abject humor, where he entertains us so much with these. These kinds of monologues about nothing, and then says quite plaintively, "I hope this is useful to someone." And then Sangbub, your first piece especially, there's this phrase we use from Chantal Ackerman, Bordering on Fiction, that we use in our department, and especially in relationship to a particular class. But this is a very beautifully evocative piece of how one has to fictionalize one's life and look through photographic remnants, which may be authentically a mark of that, the relationship one is searching for, and using a performer to navigate through some of that material. So that idea of fictionalizing the self, which also relates to Crispin's work, certainly. Crispin's work, yeah. And then John Ying, in terms of talking about evocation of feeling, there's such a rich range of material from this, stunning artistry of Master Chen, and then how you bring in the kids, Jack and Michael, Sin. And then at a certain point you get to the space where Master Chen makes himself very vulnerable to you, in terms of your question about home and about what are his fears, the seemingly fearless guy. And this wonderful ending with is it Jack or Michael playing the nocturne? Jack. And then this student who's learning calligraphy. So, and very, very smart that you have applause after your name. So it gives us a cue. Anyway, so I don't know if you all want to talk about a little bit maybe about the pieces and what generated them, and maybe see a correspondence with each other. I'll give it to you first because you have the gift of gab.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll go on for a while. I was realizing some things about my piece this time. In fact, every time I watch the piece, everything from watching the footage back, realizing all these things, and then having lots more things pointed out to me by other people and advisors as I'm editing them. And one thing's for sure, I don't know what I was doing other than little exercises in terms of my two pieces. So the intention may not have been there in the footage, but the intention had an attempt at shaping it with the editing into who knows what. And the second piece, I think, really was a who knows what type of piece, and that's kind of what I was going for, I think. Let's see.
What can I say? The two pieces I showed tonight I made one piece a year ago, and another piece is 2 years ago. So just I showed what I worked, and actually the nude piece, the Ansam Guide, is the first one, and the Yanji is the second one. So now I have another idea about film, so I don't know what I can say.
You mean first in terms of which one came first, right?
The nude film.
So my animations feature the little girl character that you saw in my work, and basically what I want to do with her is I want her to start exploring her world around her using like childlike imagination and fascination. So like she just keeps exploring new things and goes on more crazy adventures, and yeah, good times.
Hi, this film which I showed, I made that in my second semester when I was at SASA. So first, it was like a class project. Then I found I'm very interested in that topic, so I explored that into a longer piece. So I hopefully you guys enjoy that. Thanks.
Are there some questions, comments from the audience? There will be, we just have to give it time. Bruce,
Yes. First of all, I think the
would you like the mic, Bruce?
No, I'm
I'll
fine.
bring it to you like Jessica does.
No, I'm okay. Thank you. No, first of all, I think the programming was very helpful. I mean, I think the pieces fit together in a very potent way. I'm really interested in asking about the Zhang, asking you a little bit about the mix of the performative and the more traditional aspects of documentary, and I wondered if you've seen Sharon Lockhart's work, who was a still photographer but has also done work in film, who had a very distinctive way of handling. In her case, it was young women performing basketball, and whether or not that kind of choreography entered into your your camera strategies and the way in which you organize that material that came early in the work.
Okay, thanks for your question. Unfortunately, I haven't seen his work, her work, sorry. But I guess because I was in Frederick's class, boarding on fiction, so in that class I had very intensive storyboard or something like that. So I guess it's a good way to use the cinematic strategies to shoot all of this performance, as well as to use it as a documentation way to present the topic and the people around that. And finally, I think it worked out well. Yeah. Thanks, but I'll check out the film you just talked about. Thank you.
Unotra? Yes, in the back.
I have a question for Janet. What did you use to color your film? Was it pencil? Was it crayon? Was it
The
pastel?
question was, what did Janet use to color her film? What medias, right?
Sorry, I don't know who asked the question, but hi. Basically the white parts were just the paper texture that I drew on, and then the coloring was colored pencil.
I thought it was really nice how you have a limited palette, but you were able to choose, or you were able to use texture to differentiate between the layers of the animation.
Thank you.
Sangboom, I thought it was, you had, what?
I have a question for Janet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did something inadvertently funny. You go.
Do you think she's lonely on the moon? I felt that she was lonely I felt that she was going to be lonely on the moon.
Yeah, she, at first she's happy because she's like, yes, I finally reached the top, I can finally see everything, I'm bigger than the world, but then later she'll get lonely because her giraffe friend kind of departed and she's all alone. But that's up to your interpretation if she stays happy because she's like, I'm the greatest person in the world, or if she's sad now that she's all alone.
We're always looking for the dark side. Yes, there's a question. I see a big arm there. Yes? I'm sorry, with the glasses and the yeah.
How does Crispin feel to be 40?
Oh. Yeah, well, I realized I was just can't wait for it to be like that. I couldn't wait for it. And now I'm like, wow, am I glad all that, first 40 years of my life is over, finally. So yeah, it's like, I didn't realize at the time. I was like, oh no, it's gonna happen. And like, oh boy, whew. So yeah, it's good.
I thought that was a particularly great. You have a really great sense of art direction and costume design. and the West Sylvan Middle School She-Wolves, that's quite good. Okay, you're welcome. Sangboom, I thought the second piece with the German title. I thought it was really interesting. The talking just that evocative phrase. Stop laughing. I'm trying to say something serious for a change. Talking about the body as an emotional shape. I thought that was really. I think that was how the subtitle worked at one point. Talking about. Yeah, could you just talk about that a little bit and about the writing in that piece, and possibly in both pieces in Yanji.
First of all, the film is made with very ultra low budget. It just made it 100 feet and just shot. The film was shot by another filmmaker, and I didn't touch the cinematographer directed the shot, and he also ordered me, could you please order like this, and then I was just follow his order. So like a shot was just made by that way, and after I watched the film, just I was thinking about the writing about. It was first year, and first year was a little bit harder than second year because I didn't have many friends. Now I have friends. So maybe I think the writing was reflected by those kind of how I gazed in the space, and I think, but also the gazing is very important. I think by we gazing others, it is the starting everything, differentiating and analyzing, scanning to you like this, So I think it reflected my thinking about how I gazed in the space and my thinking about the gazing.
Anybody else? I'm going to start calling on people. No, I'm kidding. Would any of you like to say anything about how it felt to see your work projected in this space? I know this is such a boilerplate question, but having seen some of these pieces, in the quote, the dumbass classrooms, the smart classrooms, it was really wonderful to see them here,
I liked having my film with these guys here because I love all their films and everything, and especially it just came back to me like the classroom, the first class, the Jeep Graduate Production Studio in the fall of whatever 2010, and then Janet talking about how much you love your relationship to your the little girl character. It's kind of similar to that one you showed in way back. The stuff floating around in the apartments. So it's really cool to see my piece. It looks the same. It's shot on video. It's nothing dynamic about the coloring in my piece and everything. But for that animation piece, it's like really something. So.
Well, I guess we'll take a break now, unless you have something else to say. Anyone? Okay, thank you so much. See you at the next show. Thank you.